Welcome, everybody. I appreciate you for joining me as always. An eventful weekend, to say the least. So, on Friday night, I was out to dinner in a restaurant, bad food, and I literally get notifications on my phone. Trump Zelenskyy, Trump Zelenskyy, Trump Zelenskyy, JD Vance Zelenskyy, JD Vance Zelenskyy, Trump Zelenskyy, Ukraine, crazy, exploding. I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm literally at the dinner with all my friends, drinking. I'm drunk, as always, and what I am seeing is crazy stuff. And I knew I was going to have to do an episode about it. Sorry, the episode has come a little bit late, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the President Zelenskyy and his meeting at the White House with President Trump and Vice President JD Vance. And I'm going to go over a few clips. I wish I could bring more clips. Well, that, to be fair, I've got quite a lot here, but like, there's so much to unpack. But not all of the clips I could show you because the video is going to get taken down for copyright. Okay, so all I can do is show you the clips that I was found on Twitter, as I do for most, or X, which I do for most of the shows. And yeah, listen, guys, let me show you this clip first because I'm going to get into the main part of the conversation, but first I'm going to show you two clips of Zelenskyy being trolled about his appearance. So here's the first one, real quick. This is
Yes, I had pretty close. How are you? Pretty sure.
He's all dressed up today.
President Trump, what's your message to Vladimir Putin, sir? President Trump.
And then let me quickly. So he says he's all dressed up today, and then.
Second
And my
question.
second question for President Zelenskyy. Do you ever, why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I don't
the
have
dignity of
such.
this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe. One,
Maybe something
maybe
like this.
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than yeah. Thank you. Thank you for.
So funny enough, Brian Glenn. I'm sure I met that guy. I'm pretty sure I met that guy in Arizona. The guy who asked him the question. But yeah, it's funny because it's like he's saying to him, "Do you even own a suit?" And that's actually why I put this jacket on today. I know I sometimes. Oh, actually, to be fair, if you go through the episodes, I usually am wearing like a suit jacket or whatever. But like, how is it that I am better dressed for this episode, and I've got a Hugo Boss t-shirt on, it's a black t-shirt with a jacket, yet I'm still better dressed than the president of Ukraine on his trip to the White House to try and sort out a peace negotiation for a war. Now, some people say, okay, well, you know, he's in a war. Why, you know, he's fighting a war. Why does he have to wear a suit? It's like he's not fighting anything. Like, he's doing his job, but like he's not on the battlefield. There's no reason for him to be in a long sleeve polo. Like, and that's him. And like the clip that I showed you first of Trump saying he's all dressed up, like it's a joke because actually he's dressed like he's going to the pub or to. He wouldn't even get into some clubs dressed like that, but. The point is, like, he instead of his usual like cargos, he usually wears like them cargos with the black jumper. He's worn like a long sleeve black polo, and it's just like that's you dressing up. Like, why? You know? And it's like people say, what difference does it make? And he calls it a costume. Maybe he's speaking poetically, and he's implying that. The suit is a costume that politicians put on. Well, and people since the beginning of modern, well, last couple hundred years, people wearing suits. But either way, he's calling it a costume and like whatever. And then he says, "Oh, maybe I'll get a suit like you," and sort of brushes it off. And it's like, it is a serious question. It's a serious question. Like, you can't wear a suit. Like, you know, I mean, when you think of Winston Churchill. I ain't wearing a suit. know he had the hat and the big coat, but he was wearing a suit in World War II. You know, you're Zelenskyy. You're in, like, okay, if you're in Ukraine, sure, but you're not at war in the US. You're there to have a business negotiation. You're having the biggest business negotiation you probably ever had in your life, and you're just dressing like that. It is actually quite disrespectful. And then you've got a lot of people saying, well, Elon, you know, goes to the White House and he doesn't wear a suit. He wears a shirt saying Occupy Mars, but you know, it's like, well, technically, Elon kind of dresses like this when he goes to the White House. He wears like the t-shirt with like a suit jacket or like a coat. But Elon's just a civilian. He's just a civilian on a trip to the White House. He's an American international on a trip to the White House as a civilian who's also friends with the president and doing some work for the president. Zelensky's a president of a country who's coming to negotiate fucking peace talks to end a war. So there is a little difference there. But listen, let's get into the actual nitty gritty, because it's not what I expected. It's not what I expected at all. I did not think for 2 seconds that you would get this kind of conversation out of these guys. Now, I'm going to show you a clip. It's about 5 minutes long, but I'll be pausing it, so don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not leaving you just yet. But yeah, this is JD Vance and Trump having each other's backs, standing up against Zelenskyy. Not that they need to stand up against him, but, you know, being honest and speaking to him in ways that no other leader has spoken to him throughout the last couple of years. So,
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Okay, so a couple things there. First of all, okay, so the first point is, I have to say, when you have a vice president who can actually have those conversations, I feel like it makes the rest of the country feel like, okay, we have a strong administration here. It's not just Trump. He can sit back, as he did, sat back, relaxed, and JD Vance, you know, took over the conversation for a little bit. And then when Zelenskyy sort of started firing back, then Trump butted in, saying, no, don't tell me. And I like the way he pointed at him. I love everything about that, especially the way that when Trump told him, he was telling him straight. He was saying, don't tell us how we're going to feel. Don't tell us how we're going to feel. That's disrespectful. He says, you know, you don't have the cards right now, which is true. He's telling him, and the fact that the Trump administration allowed this to be recorded is genius, because what you're doing is you are just showing everybody the truth. Right? You're showing everyone how these conversations work, and you're showing your strength. Believe it or not, although Trump haters are going to say that's not true, we know it's true. He is showing his strength. He's not going to be walked around. He's not going to be walked all over. He's not going to be pushed around. He's not going to be bullied into doing something he doesn't want. They are speaking their mind clearly, and making good points. And at the beginning of the video, when JD Vance is telling him that, you know, you have issues, getting soldiers, which is true. They have issues with manpower and getting men. That's why they're conscripting people, right? Ukraine is conscripting soldiers. They're forcing soldiers to come and fight. And, you know, Zelensky's there like this. Like, and I don't know what it is. Maybe because I guess I know his English isn't the best, but like, he just seemed like English guys will understand. Seemed like he was arguing with like some boss man at the kebab shop because he gave you the wrong change. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. English guys will understand. If you're American, you won't get that. But
please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this.
Sorry, I've got to pause it again. He tries to like tell JD Vance straight, and Trump just interrupts straight away. I love it.
You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
you
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and your men are brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about
if you didn't have our military equipment,
if
you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks.
Again, just the way that Zelensky tries to interrupt him. They're both talking at the same time, and Trump does not let him win. Keeps talking. It's just genius. And again, Zelensky says we've been alone since the beginning of this. It's like, no, you would know that if you just watch my shows, let alone the news and let alone everything. You just know by the small amount that I've covered on this. He's had billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars from the United States, 350 billion. He's had weapons, he's had ammunition, he's had money from UK, he's had money from the whole of fucking NATO. Not enough. Well, not enough compared to the United States. But he's had money from NATO. He's not been alone at all. At all. He has been running around the West and collecting billions of dollars and pounds and euros, and he's trying to say that he's been alone the whole time. And Trump makes a good point. Trump says, no, you haven't been alone. We gave you all this money. We gave you these guns. And he said, your men are brave, which is a fair point and a respectable point, because he says your men are brave, but they're using our stuff, using our weapons. Good point.
Of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what
that wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to my...
Mr. President.
Okay, so he's referring to, at the end there, just so you guys understand, he's referring to Obama giving little support to Ukraine in 2014, 2015, when Russia invaded Crimea, and then that's what they were talking about. But listen, a couple of things. Number one, just put yourself in the Ukrainian's position, right? In a Ukrainian soldier, Ukrainian mother, Ukrainian child, woman, whatever, grandmother. Would you be happy with Zelenskyy after that meeting? Like, honestly, would you really be happy? Like, if you wanted the bullets to stop for real, would you really be happy about that? Like, does that give you any assurance that your son is gonna be less likely to be killed, and your son's going to be still fighting soon? Like, I'm just thinking for myself. Talk about like the Ukrainian people, right? Not the Ukrainians in other countries who have no skin in the game whatsoever, or no sons deployed, or they're not going to be deployed because they're celebrities, or they live in America, or they live in Prague, or wherever, Dubai, it doesn't matter. UK. Think about a Ukrainian in Ukraine. Do you think they want a ceasefire? Do you think they want Zelenskyy there doing anything that could do any harm to the speed of which the United States will sort a ceasefire out, and then get to work on a deal to actually end the war completely? Because if I was Ukrainian, I'd be thinking like, look, stop with the tough guy stuff. Stop with the arguing. Put a damn suit on, and go to the United States and get them to sign something, so that within the next couple of days, next week, next couple of weeks, whatever, the ceasefire can be done. We know it's going to be without the US. No, it's not going to happen. Everyone knows this. So why would you do anything that could damage the speed of which US is going to get? Okay, we know eventually Trump's going to sort it out, but you're delaying it. You're delaying it by another week, another 2 weeks. When's Zelenskyy going to come back? Is he going to come back? Like, you are just ruining your reputation. And if I was an American right now, how would I be feeling? Would you be thinking this guy's completely ungrateful? Like, if you were, and think about this. Think about if you were Biden and part of his administration. You gave this guy $350 billion worth of weapons and cash, and he says he was alone the whole time. How would you feel? Serious question. Serious question. How would you feel if you was an American citizen and think of all the billions of dollars that come from your tax money, and he says he's been alone? How would you feel? Telling me that's not disrespectful? Anyway, the result of that bust up between the two presidents has resulted in something I'm not happy about. Okay, so basically, Zelenskyy went to Europe, and there was a big meeting with a load of leaders of NATO. He came to London, actually, I think. That was in London. So he came to London. Keir Starmer, our British Prime Minister, and a load of leaders from a load of different NATO countries met up, and basically, without the United States, to talk about, and I quote, Keir Starmer literally said, you have the UK's support as long as it takes. By the way, when someone's talking about war, and you know that the United States could end it soon, and then the UK is saying as long as it takes, it just makes you think about Why do they want the war to go on so long? I don't know. But then basically, this is, I don't know what they have spoke about a few things, but we're being brought into war, basically. NATO is being brought into war. US, they might even leave NATO after this because they had a meeting without the United States, basically contradict everything that the president was saying, and well, not contradict everything, but to a certain degree. Like, you know, Zelenskyy went over disrespect to the president of the United States in the Oval Office, and now the rest of NATO are just acting like it was no biggie, and they're just basically doing everything the president said he wouldn't do. So they're all giving more money, billions of pounds and euros, although apparently it's not out of the taxpayers' money, but so he says. Do we really know that? No. But this is a statement that Keir Starmer come out with about putting boots on the ground, British boots on the ground in Ukraine. And this, as a British guy, as an English guy, should I say, this bothers me.
Our starting point must be to put Ukraine in the strongest possible position now, so that they can negotiate from a position of strength. And we are doubling down in our support. Yesterday evening, the UK signed a £2.2 billion loan to provide more military aid to Ukraine, backed not by the British taxpayer, but by the profits from frozen Russian assets.
Quickly, frozen Russian assets. Could you imagine could have been Chelsea, you know. Could have been Chelsea Football Club.
And today I'm announcing a new deal, which allows Ukraine to use £1.6 billion of UK export finance to buy more than 5,000 air defence missiles. The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. And to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing. Every nation must contribute to that in the best way that it can. So we agreed some important steps today. First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now.
Okay, so boots on the ground in a European war means we're at war, basically. I mean, boots on the ground, then what? Okay, boots on the ground in Ukraine, British soldier gets killed, then what? We're at war? British soldier kills Russian soldier. Like, planes in the sky. This is not good. This is not good. And look, and then at the end, he's like, "We've sorted out this deal. We've doubled down on the money. We've given them everything, but it needs US backing, by the way." And then he's like, "Oh, and all the other countries, but you don't care about the other countries backing. It doesn't matter what like Germany or Poland or whatever think of that. It's the US. You need the USA's help." Listen, all I'm saying is I'm not being. If we go to war, I'm not being conscripted. Okay, I promise you, I will Muhammad Ali this, and I will not go fight because. And there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, I will not be forced to go to battle unless I genuinely believe that it is the only choice to protect my country, okay? And to stop an actual invasion of my country. Number two, I was thinking about conscription before, and I was just thinking like I don't know if I agree with it anymore. You know? Like, I'm just thinking like because after seeing what's happening in the Ukraine and everything, and just I want to make clear that they're not. Keir Starmer hasn't necessarily said that British people be conscripted, but if there was a war, then obviously males like my age would be sent to war. People with my views, they'd probably pick me first, but if it was a left-wing government. But yeah, I don't know. I just think I see the videos of the mothers crying and everything after they've been dragged away. Like, by the way, this isn't like World War II. It's not like the UK isn't getting bombed, and there's literally no indication whatsoever that we are likely to be bombed in the future. So yeah, I don't know. I just see a lot of people like, and also just on the topic of conscription, do you think like the politicians' sons would get conscripted? I feel like they wouldn't. I feel like they get given a like a little job in the government. So, oh no, well, he can't be sent away because he's working for the government already in X, Y, and Z. It's a load of bullshit. You know, I can't remember the fighter. I think it might have been. I think it might have been Klitschko. Yeah, Klitschko. I'm pretty sure it's Klitschko's sons can't be forced to fight because they're half some other nationality. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, look, guys, that is just a little update on that. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. But it's entertainment. And you know what I will say about Keir Starmer? Because remember, guys, I've done loads of videos talking bad about him. The last video I did, I actually put in a half decent word about him. But I don't really like him, to be fair. But he's kind of like, he's a little entertaining. Like, maybe it's because, maybe this is like, you know, the left in America always have this thing about Trump where they don't like him, but he's good to talk about. Maybe Keir Starmer has that effect. No, it just so happens that, like, I can, like, when I say bad things about, or whenever I criticize him, I actually do give you an exact point and reason, explanation. I show you the video he said and break down why I don't like what he said. I'm just saying, it's actually, like, less boring, if that makes sense. Like, the English politics is less boring with Keir Starmer. I'm not saying I like him, but it's less boring. Now, if Nigel Farage, who I personally would want to be Prime Minister right now, if he was Prime Minister, I think it would be very, very, very fucking entertaining. But yeah, it is what it is. But look, guys, I'm going to be doing another video tonight, actually. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be entertaining. No politics in this video, but it's going to be fucking entertaining. And also, before I go, I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed to my YouTube. So the other day, I had like 27 subscribers, which is not great, but I'm proud of it. And then, yeah, that was on Monday, right? And then by Friday, so 4 days later, I had 170 or something. So it's like 100. It's like 170 or 180, something like that. But I basically gained 150 subscribers in 4 days, and the views on one of my videos, it's not that much. It was like 630 views, but that's way better than the 100 and something I was getting before. So, guys, listen, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's why I'm going to start putting more videos up. I'm going to do some things that are a little bit more fun as well. I like the politics, but I'm going to do a few other things. But listen, guys, I'm trying to find the time to do this, because I'm working. So, trying to build a business here. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but maybe when the time is right, when I can leave it and focus on the YouTube solely. But that's when the views come up. When the views come up, trust me, it's going to be game over. Like, cameras, better lights, fucking studio, whatever. Although I'm happy with this room, but still, listen, I just want to say thank you. And listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you think of the Ukraine situation. Like, let me know if you think Trump's out of line, or if you think Zelensky's out of line. Do you think both of them are out of line, or Trump okay, but JD got a bit too loud and he's a vice president? Should he be doing that? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, okay? But other than that, I fucking appreciate every single one of you watching this, and I will see you next time. Thank you.